I'm probably going to say something here that might shock many of you, but I really like the taste of beer. And some of you are immediately like, oh my gosh, the pastor, he just said he liked beer. I'm used to that. I get it all the time. People just immediately assume because I'm a pastor that I don't ever have any fun, that I literally stay home 24 hours a day, read my Bible, and pray. And the only time I leave my house is to go to church. And some people even think that I've never heard a cuss word or I've never done anything wrong. And so it just goes with the territory when people find out what I do. And it can be frustrating, but it's also pretty funny too. But don't let me saying that I like beer disappoint you, because I'm only saying it because it's the truth. And secondly, I'm saying it to present a larger issue today to talk about. You see, there's nothing wrong with me occasionally enjoying an ice cold beer. And I don't feel that there is. I used to feel that way. I used to have this mindset that drinking was so bad, and I even looked down upon people that did occasionally. If I saw someone with a glass of wine or a beer in their hand, I couldn't believe it. I just thought it was so wrong. And I think a lot of that had to do with just the fact that my family has struggled with alcoholism. My dad, he literally drank himself to death. So I understand my feelings, and I certainly don't judge people that feel that way, that I used to feel, that they're going to abstain from drinking, and I totally respect that, and I think it's very admirable. But I came to the realization, some 3 4 years ago, that by saying I'm not going to drink ever, and by looking down upon people that did, that I was literally giving alcohol a lot more power and credit than it really deserved. And I know that may not make a lot of sense to you as you hear me say that, but it certainly makes sense to me. And so, yes, occasionally I'll have a beer, and I don't feel anything wrong with that. And sure, yeah, I've got to be careful, and I don't keep my fridge stocked with beer, and I'm not getting drunk, and I don't feel controlled by it, and it's certainly not something I have to have, and I might go weeks without even having one, but occasionally there's nothing wrong with that. But I have to be very careful, because I do believe that it does run in my family, and sometimes I can feel the darkness of that creeping up within. I can feel that darkness, and some of you in your family, you can feel that as well. There may be other issues that your family's had or whatever, and those things are genetic. I truly believe that there are things that you and I are born with that we're kind of predisposed to, and we just have to be careful. There is no doubt about that. I do find it funny though that a lot of people are like, well, Jesus drank, and so I can drink. He had wine, and he turned water into wine, and you hear this all the time. And one of my favorite authors, Warren Wiersbe, he says, I find it humorous that many people, they want to follow Jesus's leading on their drinking habits, but they won't let him affect any other habits they have in their lives. There's a lot of truth to that. It's kind of funny how we'll pick and choose what we like about Jesus. The Bible certainly does not teach against alcohol or drinking. It only teaches against drunkenness. And so if you and I are getting hammered all the time, and just getting blitzed every weekend or every night or whatever, that's probably something we need to work on. That's not healthy, first of all, and it's certainly not good for you, and you can get in all kinds of trouble. So we got to be careful. We have to just really watch ourselves. I mean, Paul says it like this in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, that everything is permissible. We can do whatever we want to do, but not everything is beneficial. So that means that I can do what I want, you can do what you want, but we have to realize where the line is drawn on whether that thing is becoming bad or not. And you say, well, how do you know when it's bad? Well, you know it's bad when it masters you, when it controls you. So if you have to drink, or you have to watch TV all the time, or you have to make a lot of money, I mean, TV's not inherently bad and money's not inherently bad. It becomes bad when it controls you and it has you around the throat. That's when it's bad. All things are permissible, but not all things are good for you, and that's where we have to be careful. So that's what I ask you today. If something is controlling you, what are you going to do about it? If it has a hold of you, you probably need to get some help, and you probably need to reach out to somebody. I love you all, and I hope you have a great day. And don't be mad at me because I said I like beer. And as always, I ask you to be the church. Thanks.